You ever feel it? That little shift in the air, that little tension no one wants to talk about? Oh, you see it, don't you, in the streets, in the markets, in the way people hold their breath when they look at the numbers, the news, the world just cracking at the edges. But no one says it out loud. No, no, no. That would make it real. That would mean it's actually happening. Oh, you thought it was solid, didn't you? You looked around, you saw the shiny things, all the structures, the systems, the promises. You thought it was all built to last. You thought it was all supposed to work. But let me ask you something. When's the last time you stopped to really look at what was holding all this up? Was it the people? Was it the systems? Or was it just a game of smoke and mirror? Here's the truth. They've always known. They've always known that the whole thing was a house of cards. Every law, every policy, every structure was designed with cracks in it from the very beginning. You've been taught to believe that the ground you're standing on is solid. But when the pressure hits, when the weight of all those lies and false securities gets too heavy, that ground, oh, it crumbles, and suddenly you're not just standing there anymore. You fuck with them deeply, 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 deeply. They're bad. But the best part? You never saw it coming, because they've always been so good at pretending. So good at convincing you that everything was fine, that everything was safe, that everything was under control. It didn't matter how many red flags went up. It didn't matter how many signs screamed at you. You were so busy believing, so busy following, so busy trusting that you didn't notice the walls were already cracking. The floorboards were already rotting beneath your feet. And now here you are, standing in the rubble, wondering how you got here, wondering how it all fell apart so quickly, so suddenly. But it didn't fall apart in a moment. No, it's been coming for a long time. It's been eroding for years, decades even, in plain sight. You just didn't want to see it. You didn't want to admit that the system, the game, was never meant to work. You didn't want to believe that the foundations were always fragile. Always. See, that's the trick, isn't it? They built this whole thing on the idea that you're too busy to notice, too distracted, too caught up in the hustle, the grind, the illusion of success. They told you to keep your head down, keep working, keep playing by the rules. They told you that if you just kept your faith in the system, if you just kept doing what you were told, everything would be fine. But who benefits when you're too busy to look around? Who benefits when you're too tired to ask questions? Oh, it's not you. It was never you. The people running the show, the ones pulling the strings, they don't want you asking questions. They don't want you poking around in the cracks. They want you to be comfortable in your ignorance, comfortable in your belief that the world is working just fine. It's so much easier for them when you're asleep, when you're stuck on autopilot, when you trust the game enough to keep playing. But now you can't ignore it anymore. You're standing there in the middle of the mess, looking at the rubble, feeling the weight of the collapse, and you realize something. It was all fake. It was a facade. Every step you took, every rule you followed, every ounce of faith you had in this system, it was all just part of the show. And here's the worst part of it all. They'll keep playing. They'll keep pretending. They'll keep telling you that everything's fine. They'll keep throwing up distractions, new lies, new smoke and mirrors to keep you from seeing the truth. And you'll have a choice. You can keep clinging to the wreckage, hoping it'll all somehow rebuild itself, or you can wake up, face the wreckage, and finally see what it was all built on. But don't expect anyone to hand you the truth on a silver platter. No. That's the fun part. The truth is messy, it's ugly, it's uncomfortable, and the more you see of it, the more you realize how deep the lies went. Because this wasn't an accident, this wasn't some random twist of fate. The collapse, that was planned. It was always in the cards. They just made sure you didn't notice until it was too late. You thought they were doing it for you, didn't you? You thought they built this system for everyone? All those nice little words they throw at you, right? Equality, fairness, opportunity for all. But the joke's on you, because that was never the point, was it? Never about fairness, never about opportunity. No, it was about control. It was about manipulation. It was about building a system that would work perfectly for them. Let's face it, they don't care about you. Not really. The system they've created was never designed to lift you up, never built to help you thrive. It was designed to use you, to keep you stuck, to keep you thinking that the only way to get ahead was to keep playing by their rules, keep following their lead. But here's the kicker. The rules, they don't apply to them. No. The ones who built the game, who set it all up, they're playing by a different set of rules. They always were. And you, you've been too busy running on the hamster wheel to realize that you've been set up. They don't want you free. They don't want you independent. They don't want you thinking for yourself. They want you dependent. They want you stuck in the grind. They want you paying the price while they sit back, kick their feet up, and laugh at how easy it is to keep you where they want you. Because as long as you're locked in the system, as long as you keep following the rules, they've got you right where they want you. But here's the thing. Everything is rigged. Everything is designed with their benefit in mind. The moment you start to realize that, the moment the pieces start falling into place, you realize the true scope of the joke. It's not that you didn't try. No, it's not that you didn't work hard enough. It's not that you weren't faithful or didn't give enough or didn't sacrifice enough. The real truth? You were always just a cog in the machine. They don't care about your effort. They don't care about your struggles. They just want you to keep moving, keep working, keep producing. Because when you keep doing that, when you keep going through the motions, you're giving them the power. You're giving them control. And the sad part, you're not the only one. You're not the only one who's been sold the lie. All around you, people are doing the same thing, same hamster wheel, same grind, same promises of success and happiness, and if you work hard enough, it will all pay off. But here's the problem with that idea. It was never meant to pay off for you. The reward was never yours. The reward was always meant for the ones at the top, the ones who don't have to follow the same rules, who don't have to worry about working hard because they own the system. And you're just stuck in it. You're stuck in the belief that if you just keep pushing, if you just keep playing, everything will turn around. But the only thing that's turning is the wheel. And you're the one spinning in it, getting nowhere. But here's where it gets even better. See, they don't just keep you working. Oh, no, no, no. They keep you waiting. They keep you hoping. They keep you believing that if you just put in a little more effort, if you just give a little more, if you just sacrifice a little more, then the reward will come. And maybe it does for a select few, but for most of you, for most of you, it's just a trick, just a game. And you're the one being played. And when you start to wake up, when you start to realize that this isn't just a coincidence, that the system was designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to keep you down, that's when they'll come for you. That's when they'll tell you you're disloyal. That's when they'll tell you you're ungrateful. That's when they'll tell you to stop questioning and just obey. Because as long as you don't question, as long as you don't see the cracks, as long as you don't see the truth, everything is just fine. But when you do start asking questions, that's when it gets dangerous for them. Because the moment you start seeing the real game being played, the moment you start pulling back the curtain and realizing you've been duped, well, that's when the game ends for them. And they can't let that happen. No, no, no. They need you to stay in line. They need you to keep playing their game. Because the moment you stop, the moment you realize what's really going on, the moment you break free, that's the moment they lose. You ever notice how everything's been going just a little too smooth? Like every time you turn around, it's all the same stuff, same faces, same promises, same rules, just spinning the same story over and over again. It's like the world is stuck on repeat and you've been stuck playing along with it, waiting for things to change, waiting for something different to happen, but it never does. They tell you it's coming. Oh, change is just around the corner, they say. Everything's going to be better soon, and you wait, don't you? You wait and you hope and you hold on to that little thread of belief that maybe, just maybe, they're telling you the truth. But deep down, you know it's all just noise. All the distractions, all the empty words, all the promises that never seem to come through. It's like a show that's been running for years and you've been sitting in the front row watching the same tired act over, just waiting for the punchline. But the joke's on you, my friend. The punchline's been there all along. See, what they never tell you, what they don't want you to figure out, is that the whole thing was designed to keep you in the dark. Designed to keep you waiting, keep you believing, keep you stuck in that little bubble where you think you have control, think you have a choice. But really, it's all a setup. They've had the script written before you even stepped on stage. And you're just an actor, playing your part, doing what you're told. You see, the real trick here isn't that you're not getting what you were promised, it's that you've been convinced to keep hoping for it. They tell you to believe, to wait, and in the meantime, they get to do whatever they want. They get to pull the strings, they get to rake in the benefits, all while you sit there, eagerly watching for a payoff that was never meant to come. And let me tell you something, this isn't a fluke. This isn't some cosmic mistake. Oh, no, no. This was planned. This whole thing was built to make sure you stayed in line, built to make sure you kept playing the game, kept putting in your time, kept giving your energy, your faith, your money, all of it, without ever seeing where it was actually going. Because the moment you start looking too closely, the moment you start asking too many questions, well, that's when the whole thing falls apart. That's when you start seeing the cracks. That's when the illusion starts slipping. And once you start seeing the truth, oh well, that's a problem, because you can't go back after that. You can't unsee it. But here's the real beauty of it. They know this. They know exactly how to keep you on the hook. They know how to feed you just enough to keep you thinking it's worth it. They've got the perfect formula. Keep you distracted, keep you busy, keep you thinking you're almost there, just a little more effort, just a little more faith, and that big reward is finally coming. Keep you believing that everything you're doing is for some higher purpose, that it all matters. But it doesn't. It never did, and it never will. Because the higher purpose was always just a shiny object, a carrot dangling just out of reach, and you're just chasing it, like a dog after a bone. And do you know why they can get away with this? Because they've made you so dependent on this system, on this idea, that if you just keep your head down and keep pushing, that eventually you'll get what you deserve. But what if the system isn't designed to give you what you deserve at all? What if the system's designed to take from you, to keep you dependent, to keep you hoping for something that will never arrive? You see, the real trick here isn't that the system is broken. Oh no, the system's working exactly how it was designed to. It was never about fairness, never about equality, never about justice. It was about power. Power to keep you trapped, power to make sure you don't ask questions, power to make sure you keep playing by the rules they set, because if you stop and look around, you'll see it. You'll see that you're not in control. You never were. And you want to know the sad part? Even when you do see the cracks, even when you finally start waking up, you still have to fight to break free. Because they've made you believe that the game is the only way. They've made you think that this is all there is, that there's no other way. And that's the real trap. Because when you're locked in a cage, even if you see the door open, you're too scared to walk through it. You're too afraid of what's on the other side. So you keep sitting there, keep watching, keep waiting, keep hoping. And all the while, the world keeps spinning and they keep laughing, because they know you're never going to escape. You think it's all just a coincidence, don't you? You think these little things that keep going wrong, the little cracks that keep appearing in the system, are just accidents? The economy falling apart, the leaders misstepping, the promises turning to dust. You tell yourself, oh, this is just a rough patch. This is just a temporary thing. But deep down, you know it's more than that. You know it's not a coincidence. It's part of the plan. You can feel it, can't you? It's like the air is thick with something. Something's off, but you're not sure what. They keep throwing distractions at you, making sure your attention's just far enough away from the truth. And all the while, the system keeps crumbling. Peace. But here's the truth. They never wanted it to work. They didn't build it to last. No. The system wasn't designed to survive, it was built to collapse. They just needed you to believe in it long enough, to buy into the idea that everything was working, that it would keep going, that your efforts would pay off. They didn't care if it lasted forever. All they cared about was that they had you locked in, hoping, struggling, giving your energy, giving your faith, giving your trust for something that was never meant to give back. They needed you to play your part until the inevitable happened. They needed you to be a believer, so when everything went to hell, you'd be too blind to see it coming. So they kept the illusion going, didn't they? They made sure that you never questioned the game. They put the carrot in front of your nose and made sure you kept running after it, and when things started to go wrong, they just made sure you didn't notice. They made sure you were too busy trying to get ahead, too caught up in your day-to-day life, too afraid to ask questions. Because as long as you're busy, as long as you're distracted, as long as you're too tired to notice, they can just keep pulling the strings. They don't need you to know how the game works. They just need you to keep playing. But here's the kicker. Everything they've built is a ticking time bomb. It was designed to fail. And now, oh, now the cracks are so obvious that you can't ignore them anymore. But they'll still try, won't they? They'll still try to convince you it's all fine. They'll still try to tell you that the game is worth playing, that everything will work out if you just keep your head down, if you just keep pushing through. They'll tell you to have faith, to stay loyal, to wait for the payoff, even as the system is crumbling around you. But don't buy it. Don't let them sell you that lie. Because here's the thing they don't want you to realize. The collapse is happening. It's already begun. The walls are cracking, the floor's caving in, and they know it. Oh, they know it, but they just keep pretending, keep telling you that you need to hold on a little longer, that the storm will pass, but they know the storm is never going to pass. They built this house of cards on purpose, and now it's starting to fall, but don't worry, while it all crumbles, they'll be sitting back, watching, enjoying the chaos. They'll be protected. They'll be fine. The collapse, it's not going to affect them. It was always going to affect you, because that's the trick, you see. The system was never about fairness, never about equality. It wasn't about you. It was about them. It was about creating a structure where they could sit back, watch the rest of you scramble for crumbs, while they sit at the top with everything. But the beauty of it is, they've made sure you don't realize what's happening. They've made sure you're too distracted, too busy, too tired, too scared to notice how they've rigged it all. Now, when everything starts crumbling, when everything starts falling apart, what do? They double down. They blame you. They blame the people who've been playing by the rules. They say you're not doing enough. They say you're not giving enough. They tell you that if you just work a little harder, if you just sacrifice a little more, everything will get better. But the truth is, the system was never meant to work for you. It was never meant to give back what it promised. It was only ever meant to take. So while everything goes up in flames, while the system burns itself down, they're already making plans for the next phase. They're already planning to rebuild it, but not for you. They'll rebuild it for themselves, and they'll make sure you're just as locked in as you were before. The funny part? You'll probably let them do it. You'll probably keep believing. because they've conditioned you so well. They've made sure you stay loyal. They've made sure you stay faithful. Even as the system collapses around you, they know you'll keep coming back, keep playing their game, and that's the biggest joke of all. Oh, here's where it gets fun. You've got two choices, right? Two roads just waiting for you to choose. But before you go making your decision, let me remind you of something. The system, the one you've been clinging to for so long, the one you've been so loyal to, that system doesn't care about you. Not one bit. It never did. The people pulling the strings, the ones who got all the power, they never cared whether you thrived or whether you were crushed under the weight of their lies. They just wanted you to keep going, keep struggling, keep playing your part, so they could keep doing what they do best, taking everything they can. So now, as the collapse continues, as the lies unravel, you've got a decision to make. Do you keep playing along, hoping that maybe, just maybe, the system will finally pay off? Or do you break free? But that's the catch, isn't it? Breaking free isn't as simple as it sounds. No, it's not about just turning your back on everything you've known and walking away. Oh, they'd love that. They'd love for you to think it's that easy. They'd love for you to think that the moment you wake up, the moment you see the truth, everything will just click. But it won't. Because once you realize the truth, once you see the game for what it really is, there's no going back. You can't unsee the lies. You can't unlearn the fact that you've been manipulated, controlled, used. And that's where the real trouble begins. You see, if you keep playing their game, if you keep staying inside the system, they've got you right where they want you. You'll keep working, you'll keep fighting, you'll keep pushing, and in return, they'll keep taking from you. They'll keep taking your energy, your time, your faith, and when you look around, when you finally catch your breath, you'll realize you've got nothing left. Absolutely, they've drained you dry, left you with nothing. But the best part? They'll still be there, sitting at the top, laughing. They'll be sitting there with their power, with their control, with everything you've given them, and you'll be standing at the bottom, looking up, wondering how you got there. But here's the kicker. What if I told you that all this could change? That you don't have to keep playing by their rules? What if I told you that you could walk away from the game? Not physically, no, that'd be too easy. I'm talking about something much deeper, something much more dangerous. What if I told you that you could break free from the inside? That you could stop giving your energy, stop giving your faith, stop giving your loyalty to the system that was never meant to help you? That's the real question, isn't it? Are you ready to stop? Are you ready to stop giving, to stop playing, to stop feeding the very thing that's been holding you down? Because here's the dirty secret. They need you. They need you to keep playing. They need you to keep believing that the game is real, that the system is fair, that everything will be fine if you just keep working hard enough. But the moment you stop believing, that's when the power shifts. That's when the whole thing starts to fall apart. Because if you stop playing, they can't keep taking. They can't keep controlling. They lose. So you have a choice. You can keep feeding the beast. You can keep pretending that everything's fine, keep following the rules, keep playing the game. Or you can choose to stop. You can choose to break free. And trust me, it's not going to be easy. Nothing that's real ever is. The system is built on one thing and one thing only: your compliance, your obedience, your faith. And the minute you stop giving it to them, oh, they'll notice. You'll be a threat. You'll be dangerous. Because when enough of you stop playing, when enough of you stop believing, the whole thing comes crumbling down. And that's when they lose, and that's when you win. But you can't do it halfway. You can't just dip your toes into the idea of waking up. You can't just casually decide to stop playing. No. If you want out, you're going to have to burn the whole thing down. And that means everything. It means no more playing nice, no more going along with the flow, no more pretending. You're going to have to rip away every single lie, every single chain that's been holding you back. And it's gonna hurt. Oh, it's going to hurt like hell. But if you want to win, if you want to finally break free from this cycle of pain and manipulation, you've got to be willing to face that pain head on. Because here's the thing they won't tell you. They've already lost. The moment you stop feeding their system, the moment you stop playing by their rules, they've lost control. And that's the real power. Because you're no longer the pawn. You're the one holding the pieces. You're the one who gets to decide what happens next. Oh, this is where it gets interesting, isn't it? You've been told your whole life that there's some grand design, some bigger picture that's all supposed to make sense eventually. They feed you this idea that there's a plan, that everything is going to work out if you just stick to the script. But what if I told you that the so-called plan was nothing more than a joke, a long, cruel joke they've been playing on you, pulling your strings, keeping you in line, making sure you keep doing what you're told, because if you don't, well, let's just say the consequences are interesting. They've made sure that you believe in the system. They've made sure that you trust it, that you feel safe inside it, and they've built it so you don't even realize you're trapped. You've been conditioned to believe that if you just keep your head down and play nice, everything will be fine. But you're smarter than that, aren't you? You can feel it now. Can't you? That nagging little voice in your head whispering, it's all a lie. None of this is what it seems. And you're starting to hear the cracks in the facade, aren't you? That's the sound of reality starting to seep in. And it's a beautiful thing, really. Because the more you wake up, the more you see the truth for what it is. The system was never built for you. It was never built for the people at the bottom, the ones doing all the work, giving all their time, their energy, their money. No, it was built for them, the ones at the top, the ones who sit back and laugh while you do all the heavy lifting, the ones who rake in the profits while you struggle just to get by. And they tell you that you just need to work harder. If you just put in a little more effort, they say, if you just push through, it'll all pay off. Well, guess what? It won't. Because it was never designed to pay off for you. It was always designed to take. To take everything you have and give nothing back. And the best part? You keep playing. You keep running on that treadmill because they've convinced you that the prize is just out of reach, but it's not. It never was. They just keep moving the finish line, don't they? Every time you get close, they pull it further away, and you keep running, keep trying, keep believing in something that's never going to happen. Isn't that funny? But here's where it gets really good. What if you could wake up? What if you could stop playing their game, stop following the rules they've set, stop doing exactly what they want you to do? What if, instead of continuing to buy into their lies, you decided to just stop? Stop participating, stop believing, stop obeying. Now that would be a sight to see, because here's the kicker. They need you. They need you to keep believing in the game. They need you to keep putting in your effort, your time, your faith, because if you stop giving, if you stop following, if you stop playing along, it all comes crashing down. You're not just a cog in the machine. You're the fuel. You're what keeps it running. But the moment you stop feeding it, it dies. And what do they do when that happens? Well, they'll do everything they can to get you back. They'll tell you it's all a misunderstanding. They'll tell you you're just confused, that the system is still the best thing for you, that you need to stay in line, that you have to keep playing. But you've already seen the truth, haven't you? You've already figured it out. They can't stop you anymore. But oh, how they'll try, won't they? They'll send in their little distractions. They'll throw shiny objects your way, new rules, new promises, new games to play. They'll try to make you believe that this time it'll work. But the truth is, it was never meant to work. The system wasn't meant to help you. It was meant to reward you. It was built to make sure you kept running, kept believing, kept giving. And they'll try to drag you back in every time. Because if you stop, if you wake up, if you stop playing the game, they lose. And they can't afford to lose. Oh no. They need you too much. So here's your choice. You can keep playing, you can keep doing what they want, you can keep working, keep sacrificing, keep believing that eventually it will all pay off. Or you can stop. You can pull away, walk away from the game, and watch it all collapse. The moment you stop feeding it, it starts to die. And that's the real power, the real freedom. Because once you stop believing, once you stop playing by their rules, it's over. And what's left is just the wreckage of a system that was never meant to work for anyone but them.